Not me.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's BP Crow's Nest, Damnation here, along with Toxic, Shane, and Ross Crow. Get a little scared in the early show because they were starting to call me deer, so I figured we better go live. That way you didn't have to hear that crap anymore. How was everybody's day going? Mine started out terrible. I knocked my bathroom heater in my toilet first thing this morning. Hey, that was great. Let me tell you, it was still running. I'm surprised I didn't get electrocuted. How's your day?
My day is pretty good. You know, just relaxing after the holidays, so it's pretty. I'm retired, so I'm just kind of chilling out today.
Cool.
Yeah, just chilling out myself. I mean, I actually entered into the bounty this time, so we'll see how it goes.
And I'm the only one working hard here. Cause,
yeah, you look like you're working real hard, buddy.
Look, sweat. See, sweat. Yeah. I'm doing the bounty and have to hit 50, so it's a bit of a chore to work up a sweat there. But I guess someone has to.
Yeah, I guess today we'll be talking about, let's see, we'll be talking about Bounty, the new one going on. We'll be talking a little bit about the Hurculean TLC that's coming up. We covered it a little bit last week, but I want to go into a little more detail this week. We'll also be talking about the Legion HQ targets that are out there, the 120s. And then at the end of the show, we'll talk a little bit about the FM and what's going on with that. So let me get a little screen sharing started here, and we'll get right into it. So we are on episode 22 here on December 28th. So Bounty 5, it started today at 10 a.m. kicks time, and it's lasting until January 1st at 10 a.m. kicks time. You know, pretty much just like it always is. You know, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on all this setup stuff. You know, you get your 800 bounty grants every 6 hours at 10 a.m., 4 p.m., 10 p.m., 4 a.m. kicks time. That's pretty much all the same. You know, nothing's really changed there. Checkpoints, pretty much. I'm pretty sure these are the same as they were last time, if I'm not mistaken. You're gonna pretty much all your early checkpoints 1, 2, 3, and 4 on all 4 days hit at 2,000 points each, and then you're gonna have your long stretch 10 checkpoint. So on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, that you hit that at 10,000 points, and then on Sunday you won't hit it till 57,120. So that's quite a stretch there. Although, to be honest, the way the 100s are dropping like candy today, that 57,120 probably won't be that hard to get if they continue to drop like this. And we'll definitely be talking about that a little bit more as we go. And then, you know, you get your chests at your random checkpoints. You know, on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you get a chest at 2,000, 5,000, and 9,000 on the way to that 10,000 and checkpoint. And then on Sunday you'll get a chest at 8,000, 16,000, and 32,000. So I know my personal chest I got yesterday, I got a 1-day Conqueror build token, I got 3 5,000 VXP Conqueror tokens, and a 25,000 uranium. What'd you get out of yours, Ross? I'm sure you've hit those at this point.
I picked up a 1-day structure build token. I picked up two times of the 3 5,000 VXP Conquer class tokens, and yeah, normally I would have thought, oh, that's kind of crappy, but I actually needed those at this moment, so it worked out really well for me.
Yeah, I know myself, since I got my Conqueror shipyard up and running, I don't have titanium usually to spare on researching those Conqueror tokens anymore. Because as soon as I get my titanium, bring it back to my base, start my hull, it's like, oh, Christ, I just went from having 100,000 titanium to I have 0 again, and I don't feel like going to get any more.
Yeah, I've been enjoying these new hulls, so I've been kicking out quite a few, and I just been needing the tokens to rank them.
So yeah, so those are your checkpoints, and that's when you get your chests. Bubbles, we always like to go over the bubbles. You know, for those who are opted in the bounty, less than 25%, no bubble. 25% is a 2 hour. 50% is a 3 hour, and 75 and 100% are 4 hours. And keep in mind that they only get bounty if they do 50% and get your OP. The getting your OP is the extremely important part. It's like I was telling Toxic and Chain today. They can kill 99% of my base, and I don't care as long as they don't get my OP. And then obviously, if you did not opt into bounty, your bubble times are the same as they've always been. Let's go over the prize list real quick.
Okay.
Shane, first page.
Shane, we can do this.
Shane.
Alrighty. Yeah, sorry, I was muted
That's
there.
okay.
1,700 points. Looks like it'll get you a 12-hour ship build token. I guess you only get the one?
Yep, you can only get one.
Okay. Concussive plate 4. Compulsive plate. Oh, the concussive platform plating?
Yes.
So there's 2 different armors in this one?
Yeah, one's for the ships and one's for the turrets.
Okay. And then you can get an old retribution. Looks like a 24-hour structure build token, just one of those as well. And an old style thermonuclear launcher. Those were pretty cool. They had a pack function also on them. They did a big explosion every so often. So that's
they pair well with the Ret, which is I think is why they're there.
Yeah. It's a heavy weapon, so it can only go in the heavy weapon slot. And it looks like for 2,400 points, you can get the Hedgehog mortar, the Delta V mortar focus. That's a special for the mortars, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Concussive plate 5, that'll be for your ships, and then the Sloth, if you haven't gotten one already.
Yeah, if you don't have sloths yet, and you can manage to get 2,400 points, sloths are definitely worth getting. Still to this day, in my opinion.
Yeah, I haven't run them without the Brennus, but Brennus is another key in there. But the Sloth, yeah, it's a good mort hull. But that looks like it's all in that categories.
Then we got page 2, Toxic.
Okay, for 5,000 points, you get fuel ammunitions 2 and concussive plate 4.
6.
You get the. Oh, sorry, yes, 6. Yeah. Oh, upside down here. That's that's
right.
the extra difficulty. That's what I'm.
We can't expect you Australians to get everything right.
Exactly. Yeah. You get the flail rockets. You get flanged warheads, and the elite countermeasure turret ×1.
Yeah, and obviously your flail rockets and your flanged warheads go with your Hope, or you can use them with Valiants even too. So if you're looking to using either one of those in your base, they're definitely worth picking up.
Yeah, I'll be looking to get some of that for sure. For 10,000 points, you get the Crusher Cannon and the Punch Drive system, which is a special. And then you get the Bus, which is also what I try to get. It'll surely help with a lot of things. You get the Epic Cataclysm Mortar ×1, and you can also get the Cannibal Wendigo ×1. And they're both, or at least the Cataclysm is a very worthwhile mortar to have in your base.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Cannibal Wendigo, my personal jury's still out on that one. Sometimes it seems like it's doing something. Other times it's like, wow, that was a waste of freaking 15 days building this piece of crap.
Well, I've got one on my portal, and it did not perform all that well against the Wendigo, against the Kingswood that hit me this morning. So,
I think that thing's more of the Wendigo. It's not really for damage, I don't think. It's more there for the effect, and it's a very subtle effect because it has to do with reload, and then it also knocks off on deflections with an aura cap of 5. So those minus deflections on there, as long as it's under that many auras, it will multiply. So 500 will become 2,500 minus on that specific deflection. So it's a real subtle effect, to where you might be helping you out, but you're just not really noticing it, you know.
Well, I think too, as we start to see some of these newer hulls that come in that have less radioactive deflection than say like the King's Writ did, I think this might start to see its potential at that when you start getting hit by like eviscerators and the new Boulder Fist.
Yeah, and damage, yeah, you might start seeing more of a effect out of it. Yeah.
Also, mine's on the portal, so it's got no specials with it, so that might also be part of why it doesn't
hampering its ability. But like I said, it's mainly for an effect. I mean, you probably wouldn't be noticing it, that it's dropping the reload on things, but you're not noticing it. But the countermeasures are being affected or whatever, you know, stuff like that right there that you're not seeing.
And then we got our last page. Ross, we're going to tax your brain on this. You got a whole 2 prizes to go over, man.
Awesome. We have for 15,000 the Hope and the King's Writ skin. For now for 37,120. That's 3 prizes, by the way. 37,120. You get the 2 of the Boulder Fist, the top hull. I want to let everyone know, you know, if you don't have the Hope, this is a 15,000. It's a good price to pick it up. You know, I know it has been offered already, but if you don't have it, it's a good one. And I can't say enough about the King's Writ skin. I don't know about you all, but
I can say plenty about it. I will say this honestly. I really do like the look of it. I think the look is really good. It's just the price tag is just like, whoa, mama. It's like, you want me to pay as much for a skin as you want me to pay for like what's probably the top Defender hull right now? Come on, guys. You know, but there again, if 100s keep dropping like candy like they have been so far today, it's probably not going to be a big deal to throw away 15,000 points of your bounty on a King's Writ skin.
Yeah, and that is just the skin. The King's Writ is not being offered, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, we got here's one of the new prizes in bounty. Let's go. I think Toxic, this is you.
That'll be me. That's we're talking about the punch drive system, which you can only fit to a Conqueror or Defender. It's a pretty heavy special, but it's got good points to it. It's got the ballistic damage at 50% and the reload at 40, and it gives you the extra 15% combat speed. So it's got lots of good points to it, but it is rather on the heavy side. So
it is a little bit chunky, but I do have to say it's also not as chunky as some ballistic specials we've seen out there. Like Nuclear Accelerator comes to mind automatically. It's like what, 55%?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, but like the original Hard Barrel 3 and then the Reloader, them by themselves, they're actually 60% weapon weight. So
yeah, so I mean, compared to the stuff that we've kind of gotten used to, like, you know, that's like 12%, 14%, 19%, it is a little chunky, but it could be worse.
I've not played with it in the, in the what's the name yet. So I'm not going to get it. I won't be able to have enough points to get it. So that's why I haven't really sort of looked at it. I'm not sure whether you can put that on and fit all the weapons on that you need without running out of weight.
Well, we actually have
still to be seen.
I would say we have some builds that we'll be talking about later in the show, so we'll probably touch on that a little bit at that point in time.
Fair enough.
Then we got the Crusher Cannon.
The Crusher Cannon. Yeah. Let's see. This, I guess, is the new cannon coming out for these. Conquer Defender style. Looks like they're more of a defensive weapon here. Got more regular damage, no building damage, just wall damage. So what does that mean? Does that mean 12,000 is what? I mean, does that hit buildings, or is it just the wall damage is what building damage would be as 6,000?
I would assume the 12,000 applies to ships and the buildings, and then the 6,000 is just the walls.
Okay.
Okay, well, if that was the case, that was decent. But I mean, it is kind of funky that it doesn't have building damage on there, but it does have wall damage. Is building damage supposed to be on there at the equivalent of that 6,000?
I doubt
If that was the case, I mean, I would say this is like an assault class weapon. But I mean, if you get the 12,000 building damage, I guess it would be an either or. You know, building
Yeah, I mean, if they don't specify that the building damage is less than the building damage should be the same as the flat damage.
Okay. Other than that,
it'll take a while to eat its way through the wall though, with the reduced damage. Maybe that's the reason for it.
well, I mean, I was just looking for the differentiation of the ship. Do you put it on Conquerors or do you put it on Defenders? You know what I mean? I usually use those damages as a gauge to what you're using it for.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's something to watch out for. But I would think it's an assault weapon. But I mean, if it hits buildings that hard too, I guess it could be used as a siege class weapon as well. But it sure is heavy. 700 tons. About the same as any other ballistic. It's 480 projectile speed, 50 range. This has got a little bit of spread and splash to it. So it'd be helpful on both sides if it hits the buildings that hard.
Am I right that the top projectile speed so far has been 1,000? Am I correct with that?
That's the highest I've seen that's been on a weapon, but I haven't really went in and looked at every little weapon around out there yet. You know.
I was just wondering whether we could call this 48% of the maximum. So that's all.
Oh, that'd be nice if the max we've seen is 1,000. I didn't think about that. You know.
Well, then we got the actual hull.
Okay, we have it's the Boulder Fist. It's a Conqueror hull, and it has the 150,000 base armor points. This one comes with a ballistic reload and range and damage special bonuses, all of 50%. It has the ballistic deflection and penetrative deflection at 200,000. Explosive deflection is 480,000. Now, the corrosive deflection is at 8,000. Concussive deflection is back up again at 60, or yeah, 60K. And then we have the radioactive deflection back down to 9,500. So the defense handicap 100%, just as though most of the hulls these days are. The tactical field resistance on this hull is 25%. So it's going to have a little bit of resistance,
It'll be a move through the ice field a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. You know, it's not going to be
but it looks to have, I mean, it's pretty strong in a lot of areas that people are strong in their base with. But it does have its weaknesses, I see, on the corrosive and radioactive side. So might not stand that well up to a courage.
It just
but it can work through your ballistics and your missiles and your explosives pretty well.
Right, so it's a heck of a haul. In all honesty, it's a pretty strong haul. It has some great weaknesses, but I like to see that myself. I'm tired of the. It's not a point and click, so I'll just say that this is not a point and click. So.
Yeah, it just looks like another puzzle piece.
Hey, real quick, I want to go back to the crusher cannon. The building damage is 600 building damage. That got cut off on the
600.
Yeah, that got cut off on the print when I took the screenshot. Thank you, Bob, in chat for pointing that out. I appreciate that.
Good deal.
So it is an assault style weapon then.
Basically, from what he's saying, he in his opinion is basically to just kill the hope. Is the purpose of that gun.
Okay. Well, almost any ballistic weapon you can get in there would do that, wouldn't it? It don't have really good ballistic deflection at all, period. I would think.
Well, you got to hit it kind of hard, honestly. But you probably could kill it with multiple types of ballistics. You're right, but not all.
Well, let me ask you guys this: comparing the stats we've seen from the Crusher Can to the stats we've seen from the Chaos Chain Gun, which one are you guys more impressed by?
Actually, the one that does 150,000 across the board on all damages.
Yeah,
That's a pretty intense weapon. I'm just curious how it works as far as the building damage on it goes. The way I would think that weapon in particular, the building damage would incorporate ballistic damage as its weapon type when it's hitting a turret for that defense to be on there. But I don't know since it's got all 6 of them. I mean, if all 6 of them is included in that weapon and you're using it for a siege style weapon, I see it doing a pretty damn good job.
Now,
You
see,
know.
I use the. I don't use this. Well, I mean, of course, I don't have this new one yet, but I've been using the other, and I like it a lot.
The new pack cannon.
Yeah.
Talking about, yeah, the new pack cannon is impressive.
well, I would think
talking about the Conqueror.
Wait, hang on. I would think you would be talking about the Chaos Chain Gun over the pack, right?
I'm sorry, I'm not talking about the PvE. I'm talking PV. Yeah, the Conqueror.
Oh. Yeah. So you're talking about the Chaos Chain Gun, the one we were just talking about.
Yeah. And that's sweet. I'm not gonna lie. That's a great weapon. It really is. I've seen it on a number of things, and it's amazing. And the best part about it is, and to get me, I like hitting bases, and I like being surprised, if you know what I mean. I like. I don't like just walking through easy bases. I like getting beat a lot, and some of these guys lately have been shocking me with they've been putting on the hulls I just don't expect it nor look at, and I go by with the King's Writ, and they'll kill my King's Writ, and so it's a nice weapon.
Now the thing about the Chaos Chain Gun is it is 150K split up into 10 salvos, but here's something interesting that I was thinking about. Okay, you got basically, what is it, 7 damage types that are coming from this cannon. They're all split up, I guess, between those 10 salvos. So does that mean you're going to be taking minimum damage 70 times? Like, even if you can't come to the deflection values on the hull that you're fighting against, are you going to be inflicting minimum damage 70 times with one round of fire?
Boy, I don't. It doesn't appear to be that much.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, that'd be a huge amount. Wouldn't that one shot everything?
Well, no, because we don't know what minimum damage is.
Okay.
So, then it changes from hull to hull. So, sometimes a hull will take, if it has 180,000 deflection and you hit it for 10,000 points of damage, it's still going to take minimum damage of, like, say, 1. Whereas the hull across the way, its minimum damage it might take could be 50. So, that changes from hull to hull. But yeah, there's potential you could be hitting with 70 minimum damages all at one time with that weapon. So I don't know, there's still some math that needs to be figured out for that. I'll be honest, I can do the math if I really sit down and want to, but generally I don't want to put that much effort into a video game that I play just for fun. And there's other people out there who love to do the math, like Brian over at TFC and FA. He likes to play with the math a lot. So we'll leave that up to those guys to figure out that precise stuff.
But it still has a range issue. You still can get outranged with that weapon. So you have to keep that in mind. You do have to get in there to.
Well, I'm just looking at the Chaos Chain Gun too. I think it'd be a really good weapon for your justice. That'd be pretty awesome.
Let's skip ahead a little bit. Ross, you had some Boulder Fist builds. Let's talk about those since we're talking about the Boulder Fist and you had one for the Eviscerator too. Let's talk about those a little bit since we're involved in this conversation at this point. We'll do the Eviscerator one first.
Yeah, I really like these this new haul here. In all honesty, these new Eviscerator. I said that. Is my favorite pull that's released right now. I see a lot of different options with this hull. This build here, I just threw together. I do have this ship built. This is my one of mine. It's amazing. I threw the war plate on there. I can honestly I can one ship a pretty 100 base, level 100, and I know that people are using the new OP gun, but unless they have some kind of special field or the sub field, I gotta take that into account. That slows this hull down quite a bit, a great amount. So if they have that, you have to take that in consideration. But other than that, this hull here, without a single anti-mortar, can take on the epic cats. And this is the first hull that in the game right now that can do that. And so I really enjoy this. Now, on this hull here, I put the siege battery and the siege targeting just to get the building damage and the wall damage up so high, because I was kind of just been playing around with it and seeing how far I can do, what one ship only can do, not even using the sloths. And it's a pretty fun deal. Now, there's the build. I use the agility, the battery, augmented, I think. I don't even know the name of the darn thing. Let me pull it up here at the same time.
I know the one thing when I look at this that really just impresses me off the bat, and it's not always as impressive as what it looks when you get to the numbers in the game and how it works. But boy, that 7,860,000 number looks really mighty impressive sitting up there.
It's great, and in all honesty, if you can make it to a hope with this hull, this just kills the hope. I mean, it will kill it, no problem at all. And the hope does not kill this hull. You don't just have to really stand back. Now you do want to stand back so you can clear a spot in the wall to shoot through, though. But you can just continue to drive, in all honesty. But you want to stop to kill it. Now the downfalls, the downsides on this hull here would be the new OP gun. That hurts quite a bit. Now it hurts directional, though. It's a dumbfire weapon. So if you can avoid going head on at the OP, it seems to do better if you're going on a vertical. And the war plating, I also did. It seems to help a little bit with that OP gun. I know it does help with the splash from the mortars, and so this is my favorite hull in the game right now.
And then you got two different variations of the boulder fish. Now, obviously, none of us have built boulder fish yet because we haven't been able to redeem them yet. So this is some of this is speculation, but you have a lot of experience hitting bases, so it should probably work okay. Go for it.
Well, I threw these together here. We got both builds are going to be the same weapon, and so I put. However, this hull here, it's got a ballistic reload. It's the same as the radioactive reload. So it could possibly be the ballistic hull also. Now this is a launcher style. So on this one here, I put the specials that I could get I went for multi-shot specials, I believe, on this one to see about if I could get the supercharge the highest I could. And I think that's what I did on this hull here, and I know I did. That is what I did. Now I saw its weaknesses is radioactive, so I did throw the radioactive plate. Now depending on what you're going to use the hull for, you'll probably want to change the armor, but it really has a weakness in radioactive, so that's why I threw that on there. The countermeasure special I just threw on for a reload buff. There is no countermeasure on the build, and so that was pretty good. And then, and the rest are just for the multipliers I can see, and the resonance capacitor. I did believe, I'm not sure if there was I didn't look to see if there was a trigger, but I know if you're using this in a base guard or in our fleet, you could trigger it with another hull, and that was the reasoning for that.
I'm really confused here. If you can explain this to me, why did you again opt to put a bunch of radioactive stuff on a hull that has no inherent radioactive boosts?
It had a radioactive reload.
Does it?
The hull itself has ballistic buffs.
Yeah.
Ballistic reload, ballistic range, and ballistic damage. It didn't have a radioactive buff on it.
Yeah, I think I should have looked at this build more before I posted it on the thing. It's almost like you confuse the stuff from the new campaign for the Hurculean PvE stuff we have coming up with.
So I just threw together this whole piece of crap, huh? Yeah, I did totally confuse the hull.
Okay, so everybody watching, sorry about that. Totally.
Yeah, I put it on the wrong hull. Sorry about that. Go back to the Elvis. Yeah.
But the radioactive armors does make sense on this hull.
Yeah, and that's it. And,
I think we did. I think you did the same thing on this one, huh? So
yeah,
all right.
It's for the other hull.
We won't talk about the Boulder Fist. Oh, good.
It's a ballistic hull through and through.
Well, hey, that build fits the other hull though, so it's on the wrong hull.
Right. So,
all right.
I'm sure people in chat are getting a pretty good laugh out of this right now.
Oh, wonderful.
It's all good, though. It's all good. Well, since we just had a look at the weapons and the special and stuff that comes in the Hurculean TLC, let's go ahead and talk about it. This is a TLC that allow you to earn the new Hydra Siege Cruiser hull. The hull is going to have the first CIC slot. The first CICs will be released in the January event, which will provide a variety of abilities for the Hydra to be used against the siege targets. The first two runs can be done with either Hunters or Fangtooths to get the weapon and the hull. However, the third and fourth runs will require you to have both the Hunter and the Fangtooth fleets to complete, because these are the event level S targets. So, that's a big downside that I'm not happy about. There again, you're going to have both fleets to get something, but at least you can get the weapon and the hull with only having one or the other. So that's the positive out of this. The event's going to start tomorrow, and it'll last till the 10th of January. All right, Ross, why don't you go ahead and talk about the hull that all your stuff was supposed to
go. There we go. Okay, this one's a Draconian Siege class hull. Now, it's got 15,000 armor points. It does have the radioactive range plus 5%. The radioactive reload on this hull is 100%. Radioactive damage plus 1 is 50%. This comes with 100% building and wall damage, so that's pretty nice. The structure deflection on this hull is 1,250. It does have a basic evade 15, so that's something that can be built on also. It has ballistic defense. It's really nice. 60% radioactive defense, 65%. Now this has a tactical field resistance of 50%, so that was a little bit greater than the other. The combat speed on this is 28, turn speed's 25, map speed's about normal 33. Now I'm not sure the repair duration on this hull is 3 hours. I'm not sure about that. If that's,
no, actually it was, well, yeah, actually.
This is standard.
Probably will be.
Yeah, okay. This standard for the PvE ships has been that repair duration. That's standard.
Okay. So it has a ballistic defense. It's got this bonus field. So it's got it applied to the each Hydra Siege Crusher in this fleet. So it's not to all ships. It's just to to its own kind, correct? I mean, and then so it boosts the ballistic, radioactive, and the combat speed quite a bit. It does. Let's see. I can't see here. The radioactive damage is plus 35, and then turn speed, it adds 10% turn speed to the fleet. So that's pretty interesting too. Pretty nice haul. I think this is it's going to be it's going to be the first one of its class out there. It's a tier 7, so this is going to be the skill haul, is if I'm correct.
Yes, that's my understanding. What will be really interesting to see is what the CICs do when you put them on.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, at this point, we have no idea, and anything we would say would only be speculation. But it'll be interesting to see what the CICs add to these holes to make them even more appealing than what they're already looking like.
Right. I mean, because that just we don't even know what the possibilities are. So it's definitely going to be a boost of some type from right here, from this. So I'm be interested to see. And
then we have the weapon. This looks familiar. You're gonna be hearing about this for the rest of the night, Ross. Just so you know.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Shane, you want to go over the weapon a little bit?
Okay. Guess this is the newest launcher, tier 7 for the upcoming hull coming out. 800 tons, boy, this dude's heavy. Projectile speed. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at launchers. I thought launchers was usually like 120 or something like that. Projectile speed. If that's the case, it's a fast shooter. Got the donut hole on it, 70 to 95 range. So, being a siege target,
very specific range amount. You know, you only got like 25 units of wiggle room there with this thing. Yeah. But of course, since it's siege targets, you don't usually have to do a lot of ducking and dodging and weaving.
Okay. Well, I mean, this hole is also a ballistic hole as well, right? Or is it just straight up launcher hole?
Well, we just went over it. It looks like it's straight up radioactive launcher.
Okay. All right. Well, I was thinking if it was both, I would probably put one ballistic weapon on it to cover that donut hole. But this is actually a siege target. Would anything actually be inside that donut hole? Since you'd probably be kiting everything.
I would say not unless you're a really piss poor driver and you go up and face hug the turrets.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would just be, I mean, I usually kite, so I don't think that'd have any effect. 2,000 damage. Well, that's not what we're worried about. We're worried about shockwave and building damage. So that don't look too bad. 4 multi-shot. So it's got a little room. I think the biggest multi-shot we've got capable is +2.
Yeah, I believe so.
So you could almost, boost it 50% damage-wise with any special that does multi-shot. And we've got quite a few to choose from, so no splash on this thing. Looks decent. I mean, we'll just have to get out there and see how it does. I've seen other weapons with higher shockwave damage, but
yeah, I would agree. I on this, I was just taking a look at it. I was going with I thought when I saw just what can I work on with this right here, and I thought that multi-shot of 4, being that number's that low, you can really add to that, and so that's why I was thinking, if you can really boost that quite a bit.
Yeah, but that would just be regular damage.
Yeah,
I'm wondering how many flechettes it's going to take to actually get a shockwave boom off. So that's going to be something else we got to figure out.
Magical numbers we'll never know.
Well, we'll figure it out once we get the weapon. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to see how it goes. I mean, it looks decent enough, but I got to put it out there and take it out there and fire it off a few times and see how well it works.
And then we also have the multiplex charge doubler. Toxic's supposed to cover this one, but I'm not sure. He might have went AFK. You there, Toxic?
No, I'm all ears.
Okay.
All ears. All ears.
So you went all circle spinner and muted, and I was like, oh shit, he went away.
Yeah. Now I've put my lunch order in, so that's all.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, gotta eat after you do all that work, you know. Okay, now it's the multiplex charge doubler.
Have we seen this special somewhere already this evening?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It's a Forsaken tech, and it's got a 35% weapon weight. It's got a multi-shot of 2 and a radioactive damage boost of 40%, which is pretty good. And the special abilities of it, it's got a shockwave damage of plus 30%. So I'm just wondering of how many of these things you can put together, and if they add up.
Well, if I'm thinking right, this one special just kind of incorporated parts from 3 different specials that we've had from launchers in the past.
Yep.
I mean, you got radioactive damage there. That's from one, and then the multi-shot that incorporates to this right here. But I think it's the fusion charger or something else had a shockwave damage of plus 30%. That got included in here. So, I mean, this is a pretty compact little special right here for this weapon.
It is 35%. Sorry, you go, Dan.
I was just going to say, I think it's going to pair amazingly well with that launcher. I think this is going to be a great combination.
And then you can put some other stuff with it. Like, I think viscosity regulator, like, pairs with almost everything in the dang game. It might be splash based, but I think it gives you another 25% radioactive damage, which should usually stack with this as well.
Yeah, it's just the weight. What was the gun was like 800, was it?
Yeah, this would be heavy.
Plus 35%, so yeah. But if you might be able to mix.
Oh, what's the maximum weight on the hull though? See, the hull can hold up to 20,000 tons.
So, yeah, we're going at 100,000 fleet weight range. So,
yeah. 8 weapons.
Tester, we will get to the FM, but you just have to be patient. Everything comes in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I think you can really build this hull. That's quite a bit of weight, you know.
Yeah. And then making sure that
you can always mix and match.
Room for the CIC that's coming. We don't even know what it's weighing yet, neither. So just have to throw one together and see what it weighs. Because I mean, 20,000. I've never really built ships that heavy before. You know, it almost seems like an open-ended, unrestricted ship weight there almost, you know.
Oh, absolutely not. Look at the Buccaneers. My Buccaneers, I can't even fit my last weapon on it. So yeah, 20,000 definitely is not an open-ended put whatever you want on it.
Not open-ended.
Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore. Used to be.
It's a lot of weight.
Let's go ahead and move on to Legion headquarters because we still got to cover this and we want to talk about the FM and we're like only got 15 minutes left. So let's see. Legion headquarters. There are new Legion headquarters targets spawning on the map near Draconian uranium bases. There we go. You will see these targets for about a week. This is a brand new co-op target. Maybe you can actually do them by yourself if you want to. That will allow you and another player to bring in fleets to challenge this target. You're going to want both a siege and a skirmish fleet to be able to complete this target. All players who are in this target, when it's completed, will receive a small Legion chest. This chest will drop 1 charged armor. It could be an M, an X, or a C, as well as up to 20 hours of structure build tokens. This is the next challenging co-op target we are introducing. Keep your eyes open out for further targets in the future. This target will start spawning Wednesday, 12/27 at 9 a.m. So they've been out for like a day and a half now. So here's what they look like on the map. It almost looks like 2 old barn silos that you would have your corn in stacked next to each other. And then when you go to attack it, you know, you'll get, you're about to engage a very challenging enemy. Cooperative play is strongly recommended. Yeah, don't pay any attention to that. You don't have to go. You don't want to. This is what the big ass target looks like on the inside. Up here at the very top, there's 5-6 boats that are cut off that you can't see. Myself, when I hit these by myself, what I do is I actually hit them with hunters, and then I use ironclads. I come in with my hunters. First thing I do is come over towards this torque tower here at the top. That activates this fleet here. They come down, and I like kite them and kill them. Then I spend about a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes killing this torque tower, because let me tell you, this thing's got a pretty massive amount of health to it. But then that activates the 5 or 6 fleets that are off the map, and they come down, you kill them, come down, kill the rest of the boats, blah, 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 blah. And then you can bring in your ironclads or cannoneers, or if you have your buccaneers already built, and then you can take out the turrets. And here's a picture of the turret clusters. You got your a long-range cannon. You got your short-range blunderbuss. Do not walk into that blunderbuss. It hurts. It hurts a lot. And then you have your 2 missile turrets. One points out, spits out a whole bunch of missiles that are dumbfire. They land on the water behind you as long as you're going fast enough and leave a fire patch. Don't sit in the fire. You know, that's pretty much a rule for pretty much any video game I've ever played in my life. Stay out of the fire. Fire's bad. And then you got the other missile turret, which will shoot out a big honking missile that you want to, if possible, have like a Phalanx 4 on your ship to be able to shoot it down. Because that missile does put out radioactive damage. There's no penetrative damage to it, just radioactive damage. But if it hits, it does hurt. And then we also have a picture there. I just took a little screenshot of some of the fleets that are some of the boats that were in there. I believe one is a Cadiz, although it doesn't shoot drones. And I still haven't figured out what the dagger through the skull on that one boat is, what that signifies.
And it travels at a different speed, doesn't it?
I think those go really slow.
Yeah,
it does, and so I didn't know that myself.
It does slow down both the enemy fleet and your fleet if it gets splashed by it. Yeah.
Well, what the mortars shoot from the big boats there, yeah, those will slow you down.
Yeah, and it slows the other boats or the enemy boats down as well. So
anybody that gets caught in its splash range is supposed to get shut down, but I don't know if we got any slow resistance. I don't remember the cannoneers if they do or not, like the Phoenixes do, you know. Don't mess with them as much.
I don't have cannoneers, so I've got no idea on that.
I know when these targets first came out, there was all kinds of problems with them. Well, a lot of people were trying to do them solo, and they couldn't because there was one particular, I think it was either a warehouse or an oil rig or something. When you killed that at the bottom, it would trigger the fleet at the top. But if you retreated and came back in with your fleet killing fleet, that you couldn't get them to activate again. So basically that target would be stuck in limbo with those 5 boats off the map that you couldn't ever reactivate again if you didn't kill them the very first time around. However, seeing that was a problem for people who wanted to do it solo, they went back and switched it, made it to where that torque tower with all the health would trigger those fleets.
Yeah, so, that's what I heard also.
But yeah, I do them by myself, you know, not just because usually when I'm ready to do something like that, like none of my people that I talk to on a regular basis are around. So I just go ahead and do it myself. I go in with my hunters, or you can use fang tooth to kill all the fleets, you know, and then come in with your ironclads or cannoneers, buccaneers, and kill all the turrets. And then you'll get a chest that gives you a piece of random charged armor and so a couple hours of structure build tokens. I know I got a C1X armor and 10 hours worth of structure builds.
Now, is there a damage requirement for a 2-player battle? Could you say per se you do that whole thing solo yourself, get it all down to almost kill it, and then call your buddy and say, "Come jump in this and get a mystery box also"?
I honestly have no idea on whether it's a requirement because, like I said, the ones I've done, I did on my own, so I wasn't able to figure that out. So I don't know if anybody in chat might know if you can go in and do it by yourself, and some other guy just sits in there and does nothing. You can get a chest or not.
Okay, I'll have to research that and figure that out. That's a thought, you know. I mean, there's some of the guys that can't get all that.
I know when these targets first came out, you were having all kinds of problems with them and getting thoroughly frustrated with them.
Yeah, myself, I'm one of the I jumped right into, you know, right off the bat, right when they appeared on the map, and knowing that they could have problems, but Yeah, I went through 4 of them and I couldn't complete them. I was trying different things. I thought I was, but I apparently was wrong. I didn't know it was my retreat that was causing the error. In all honesty, I thought it was the order in which I was killing things, and so I tried 4, and none of them worked. So.
Carl and RB both in chat seem to concur that you can take somebody else in there and then do absolutely nothing, and that they will get a chest out of it. So,
okay, very good, good deal.
Okay, so, well, that's what I thought I'd heard too. That both people would get the chest, but then I thought I heard them say something about the priority as well. The little skull up there that lights up green for the first person that goes into the target.
Well, I think they turned off the priority though.
Okay.
I think that's what was causing problems, and that's why only one person was getting the chest. So I think they just turned off the priority, and now it's just that way both people get stuff.
Okay, cool.
Let's see. I think that might be the very last slide we have. We can talk about these builds some more.
No.
Oh my! You'll be hearing about this one for a while, Ross. But however, let's talk a little bit about the FM and what's going on with the FM. There's definitely been some freaking changes to the FM. There's Shane, I know you did some testing. Why don't you talk about your results?
Well, I'm the one who's been using the generalist fleet Zimpies. Usually it's like 30 minutes, but I mean, this week it has been double damage. I've seen people over the last couple of weeks saying damages went up, but my damage never went up. I was still steadily at 30-minute repair. But now, yesterday consecutively and today consecutively, it's an hour's repair for each one of them. So something's going on. Either countermeasures ain't working as well, or damage has been dialed up, or something.
Yeah, I will say anybody who says that there has not been any change and not been any increase in damage to the FM has absolutely no freaking idea what they're talking about.
Well, or they started with the 2 Zelos leads, 2 or more, and they had them overbuilt. Because I have noticed, I've seen that myself. That I'm taking a little bit of damage more, but I'm seeing things get through, and I think it's my armor that's saving me. Is hurt on myself is because I have the charged armor, but I'm watching it get hit where it didn't get hit before. And so
one of the most common things I'm hearing is, yes, stuff's getting through. Countermeasures aren't near as effective as what they were before the raid. I noticed even like last week, I noticed there was an increase in damage last week. And this week, I myself haven't even started the FM yet, but I've heard that this week is even worse than it was last week. Now, I will say this. I specifically and personally talked to one of the game designers, and he seemed to be surprised that the targets were doing like basically double damage compared to what they had been. So I'm not sure if it's some kind of something happened unintended along the way, but he said, they'd be looking into it and we'll go from there. That's all I can tell you. But he seemed genuinely surprised that was going on when I told him that.
Yeah, it was even the same on my icebreaker fleet as well. It was twice the amount of damage I'm usually taking. So it wasn't as I think it might be, if it's stuff's broken and it's countermeasures, I think it might be countermeasures, not the ships, because it happened on both of my fleets. I thought maybe the duality countermeasures on the Zelos might have messed up. But I'm running one of each of the countermeasures on the icebreakers, and I took double damage on them as well. So
yeah, from everything I've read on the forums and read on the pages, icebreaker users are the ones who are definitely seeing the most impact from this thing.
Yeah, they're getting punished. They're They are.
The Band-Aid come off the icebreakers. You know, they were screwed at the beginning. I guess that crack in the hull is bleeding back through now or something.
So do you think it's a coincidence that this damage increase happens right at the same time we got yet another escalation weapon for the icebreaker?
If you want to call it an escalation weapon, I mean, that's an escalation in the wrong direction, if you ask me. I mean, the minus 25% reload is all good and everything, but the weapon is not as strong and you're losing speed.
Here's what I'm wondering. I'm also wondering if a lot of the extra damage is coming from the fact. I wonder if they raised load on the Drac carriers up by 25%, and now they have this new weapon that can reduce them by 25%.
Yeah.
So, you know, in theory, we're now forced to fit a weapon that ends up being exactly the same as what it was before.
Yeah. But
that's my tinfoil hat, and I tend to try not to break it out too much, but it does happen sometimes.
I myself, I'm seeing some executioners getting through that. Just, I mean, not that they don't have to. I mean, but they just weren't before. I mean, I was just shooting every single thing down, and now they're. I'm watching some of those executioners get through for sure, and so that just leads me to believe that my countermeasures are not working the same as they were.
Yeah, that's when I talk to the game designer, I definitely pointed out, I'm like, here's where you might want to start looking, because you're not the only person I've heard to say that the countermeasures seem to be a problem. So, and I mean, I'm sure chat's disappointed. They were ready for some epic rant rave about at them and Bar Rock. Like, sorry, Vlad's not here. He's blowing up just fine for you if he was here, but he's feeling a bit under the weather and couldn't make it today. So I don't know. I tend to try to have a little bit more of a wait and see. You know, if by after the holidays it's still going the way it is, then you'll probably hear me start to rant and rave at some point in time. But I also got to look at it, you know, I'm sure there's some people in the office, but I'm sure the biggest majority of them are out on vacation, holidays with their families, you know, like we all like to do as well. And so you can't hold that against them. So a lot of this might not get sorted until after the holidays. So just be a bit patient, do what you can, and save your rants and raves and meltdowns as much as possible until after everybody gets back in the office. That's my best advice. I'm not saying don't complain at all. I'm just saying don't have a meltdown until that time.
Or use all your Zelos tokens and build yourself another Zelos. That's what they're there for.
But the answer should never be, oh well, just build another tank. That should never be the answer.
No, but it's one of the solutions right now that you can
in a way that itself is the problem, because people will be like, oh well, just do this, and they'll see like 3 or 4 people do that, and then they'll be like, oh, everything's fine, we can leave it the way it is. You know, we never in a million fucking years should have had to use 2 fucking tanks to do the fucking FM in the first place.
Well, it don't have to be tanks. Like I'm still using my the ballistic Zelos, and I threw 2 monos behind it, and I don't even get shot at. Well, I get shot at, but nothing comes through. There's nothing at all. Doesn't matter what I do, or unless I run into 2 of those.
Is that still going on this week? You're still able to consecutively do that?
I've done all my FM, and I've not got shot. I mean, I get shot at, but nothing comes through.
Okay.
Doesn't matter where I sit. It's not unless I drive right in front of the entry, and I get shot at by like 4 of those
both of them,
those missiles and stuff. Then a couple of them I might get through here and there, and it'll kill the monos off, but it won't do much to the Zelos.
I mean, you know, honestly, if they keep escalating these targets the way it is, it's going to be like by the time March rolls around, we see brand new targets. It's like, oh, well, it takes me 12 hours to do my FM because everything on my boats is freaking countermeasures to deal with the shit.
That's what I was thinking. You go, You're gonna have to get so many countermeasures going on. You ain't got enough damage to take down a single turret.
We're already there. We are already there. You know,
I got five freaking tanks and no DPS, man. What the hell?
It is. We are there. It's already. It's like almost equal match 1-for-1 now. It's. Yeah, I feel the same. We're overloaded on the countermeasures.
Yeah, well, I'm in agreement with Damnation. I mean, I shouldn't have to build a second tank. Okay, the tank I'm using has 14 freaking weapon slots on it. Okay, 14 countermeasures. Well, actually just 13 because I got to have point weapon. But I mean, that should cover it. I shouldn't have to have 28, 30 freaking weapon slots to cover countermeasures to do my weekly FM.
No, but see, I don't have that. I got 6 of each.
Yeah, 6 of each. That's 12. Okay, that's 12. I should be able to do that with one ship.
He's got 3 Zeloses, so that's 18, yeah. And then he has 3 built-in counters. So you're looking at
no. Hang on. I've got 2 of the Guiles, but they're Guile 1s and Guile 2s. I've got 2 Phalanxes on each boat, and they're only 2s and 3s. And then I've got 2 Tridents.
Right, so you got 18 countermeasures across that fleet.
All up, yes.
And then plus the built-in dualities that are on the 3 boats themselves, which perform even better usually than what the actual countermeasures do.
See, I was thinking that right there was having a big play in his success. It wasn't necessarily all those countermeasures. It was actually, it's the 3 Zelos with the duality countermeasure ability on those hulls, with 3 of those backed up with the
and that would fall into line with the fact that regular countermeasures aren't performing as well as what they should, but the people who are using 2 Zeloses, or in Tox's case 3 Zeloses, aren't seeing the impact near as much because they're more relying on the duality built-ins that are working properly.
Yes.
Yeah, but don't forget, I didn't build this for the FM. That was my raid fleet.
Yeah, it's just what happens to work well in this target.
Yeah.
Lucky.
But
it kind of sucks that he's got to go to 3 countermeasure ships. I know they got ballistic cannons on them, but in essence, those are 3 countermeasure hulls with 2 mortar ships backing it up.
Ross, I know you were trying to fit something in there. What were you trying to say?
Well, I was going to say that does kind of pinpoints it, because I know that I run 2 Zelos, a gridiron, and monos. So I'm doing the 2 Zelos up front and a gridiron. So I'm doing basically the same. So I'm getting I'm getting a couple through on the double Zelos. But if he's not seeing a change and he's got the 3, it's the count. It is for sure that then it's the counter measures the
duality countermeasures on the hulls that are
saving him. Because everybody else is seeing it. Icebreakers for sure. You don't have enough slots to add up all the antis.
You won't have any damage left.
You won't have it. That's the truth. And so I think that helps pinpoint the issue. That I do believe that the counters are not working the same.
Something wrong with the counters, or like Damnation said, them upping the reload rate.
Yeah, that would
really play into that.
Yeah.
Well, and there again, I have no actual real evidence of that. That was just my tinfoil hat talk.
No, but that theory it's sound,
Right, but what we're doing here is we are confirming the escalated weekly, basically. Because I myself, I truly see that all the time, and everybody says, "Oh, every week I got more damage." So I have to ignore that for a little while. Well, the little while has passed, and I think everybody's seeing it also.
Well, and the key is you got to take notice of who is saying that there is an increase of damage. If it's people like us that are saying it, or people like Ren or Rue or or TSM or people like that, that's when you got to start being like, dude, like Bort, one of the biggest trolls on the forums, even who supports everything Kixeye ever says. Even Bort was on the forums yesterday saying, Yeah, there's been an increase in it. When that guy is going against the company line of what he says, you know there's a problem. That's all I'm going to say about it. Anybody who follows us on the forums at all knows who I'm talking about. And you know that if that guy says there's a problem and is arguing with Kicks, then there's actually a problem.
All right.
Yeah, that little bit of damage was already on it. That was from yesterday when I accidentally ran into in two of those red spitting things. I don't know what they are, rockets or whatnot.
See, now you're just being a show-off asshole. That's all you're doing right now.
Oh, that's good.
Well, you not got the drone shooting at you yet.
I don't know.
There you go. If you're gonna show off, show it off. Damn it.
I think
All I have to say to this Toxic is, how much bounty do you have? I have 46,000. How much do you have?
if I understand it right, he's in second place.
I don't want to make you. Yeah, I don't want to make you jealous. So I'm not saying.
Yeah, you're in second and last place in the sector that we're in.
Is that the truth? Is there only two people?
Yeah, there's only last I looked, there's only two of us.
Holy cow! 2 people. Wow. I mean,
the sector we're in, it's not because like we're in an extremely active sector that nobody's doing it. It's because the sector we're in is pretty freaking dead.
Okay. Yeah. No. Fair enough.
And don't worry, I already got hit. I was at 1,800 bounty, and I got hit, and 720 got taken away.
There's 31.
Oh wait! We do have a third person in the sector who's joined in now, so you're no longer in last place, Toxic.
We got 31 people in our sector. Last place has 480 bounty.
Really?
So very low turnout first day in my sector.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of hard to tell across the board because a lot of it is based, you know, on sectors. You know, are you in a sector that has PvP guys in it in the first place? Because, you know, if you're not in a sector that has PvP guys, well, then obviously you're not going to have hardly anybody who joins bounty.
Okay, I got 70. I got 76 in my sector.
So y'all are a little more active. I mean, 21st place is at 800 bounty. That just shows me they logged in. They probably just collected the beginning checkpoint.
Let's I want to try to end today's show on a positive note, though, because we're wrapping it up here shortly. But I do want to end it on a really positive note. Let's talk about the spawn rate of the 100s, man. There's been spawnings of 100s just today already.
I've seen the 100 spawn more today than I've seen in the past events for the whole event.
I know. It's been
Straight up.
What kind of bonuses have you been getting off your 100s, Ross? I hit one earlier today, and I actually got 6K off of it.
Whoa! No, I'm picking up whatever, like 1,600, I think. I got a 3,200. I haven't seen anything higher than that myself, but I was happy on the 32. I've gotten a couple 32s. I probably got like maybe 3 32s, probably like 5 16s, a bunch of 800s. And then, like I said, I got that one that was 6K. And like that was when I was like, holy crap, my bounty just shot up. I went through like a checkpoint and halfway up to my final checkpoint, like all at one shot. I was like, holy crap. Right. And you know, it's putting a lot more points out there. It's a good thing for that, you know, for the community. For the players that are actually doing this, it's a huge thing. I mean, you know, it's just been one of those in the past where you can't sleep, or you have, you know, what happens if the 100s pop when you're asleep and you miss them, and then everybody else you know, it's just been horrible. So this is hats off. I'm super happy about the drop rate, and I hope it maybe even continues for anyone that missed it.
And trust me, Ross, this is not the first time we hear about this. We've been listening to this all morning.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I've been extremely happy at the one.
You have, huh? Okay. Yeah.
We've been getting 5-minute updates here.
No, I mean, it really has been a big deal. It's been nice. So, and it really puts a lot of points out there for other people.
Also, I have to say, toxic because it could be worse. I could be like, well, I don't take any damage on my FM fleet.
Payback's a bitch, eh?
Right. All right, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. I definitely appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us tonight. I appreciate your activity in chat. The chat's been pretty active tonight, and that always makes things better for us. Thank you for all your input. If you liked anything we had to say, except for Ross's build, make sure you share us on all the pages we can't get to, and put a disclaimer there about that little incident. All right, we'll catch you next time, guys. Thanks for coming out.
See y'all later.
See you later, everyone. Have a nice Happy New Year.